you told me that your love was strong. Now you tell me that your love has gone. Run away into another man and my hope starts to fade. Oh, you said I was the only one. Now you're singing me a different song. And this loneliness I can't go on as my love turns to hate. Well, how can I move on? There's no beauty in the setting sun. How can I move on as my love turns to hate? How can I move on? Your ever after didn't last too long. How can I move on as my love turns to hate?
Welcome back to Living on the Edge, a programme based on adventure, nature, live music, on pushing your limits, facing your fears, and sometimes overcoming them by taking a leap of faith into the unknown.
I'm thinking of the bed we shared. Now I'm thinking how you never cared, and my love turns to hate.
We drive for around 5 hours and finally arrive at the Tabernas desert, the only desert in Europe.
Love turns to hate.
I can almost visualise Indiana Jones racing through the dry riverbeds in The Last Crusade, or Clint Eastwood riding his horse through one of the many canyons.
How can I move on?
We've come all this way to meet a friend, Neil Hill, a bushcraft expert who's going to give us a brief tour of this fragile desert ecosystem and run us through some of the basic survival techniques while losing ourselves in this arid, wild and enigmatic landscape.
You told me that your love was strong. Now you tell me that your love has gone. Run away into another man and my hope starts to fade. Oh, you said I was the only one. Now you're singing me a different song. And this loneliness I can't go on as my love turns to hate.
It's so good, that song.
Cheers, man.
It's so good. One of the best views of the Almerian desert.
Wow.
Ahead of us is Val del Bur. This is the Valley of the Eagle Owls, the bird we've just seen up in here. Down on the left are some of Europe's only salt flats. Coming across here, you can see the desert going over the mountain of Alfaro all the way to Sierra de Gador. Follow it north, 20 kilometers to Hergal, you're beginning to get the extent of the desert here. The long view in front of us, with Sierra Alamia in the background, is possibly familiar to you.
It looks familiar, yeah.
Well, okay, these places here, this particular view has been the backdrop to The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, Magnificent Seven for a few dollars more, Lawrence of Arabia. Okay. Loads of films have been shot here because these dry gullies, this badlands is something that the American producers thought, hey, this looks really similar to Arizona or Dakota or somewhere like that. So you kind of got that juxtaposing this beautiful natural world here. And then on the right, you've got just the awesome power of nature. Now you can see these giant, well, not even house-sized, double house-sized boulders that have been just thrown around like a child throwing bricks around. It's a really, really special,
impressive,
awe-inspiring place, this.
So how is it that this canyon actually formed here in the mountain?
Well, Almeria, where we are, is a really unstable region of Spain. The African plate and the European plate come crashing together in the Alboran Sea. And there's constant movement along the plate boundaries like this. And occasionally it will slip violently and cause an earthquake. Some of them have destroyed whole cities, like 500 years ago. Almeria was just flattened by an earthquake. This is a lot longer. This was created by a huge earthquake, certainly thousands of years ago, maybe even tens of thousands of years ago. And the mountains, which were just a long chain of mountains, kind of fissured and cracked, and one piece moved away from the other like that. And then another piece moved away like that. And this one moved a long way apart. But the scary thought is, when the next earthquake comes, this bit to my left will probably go ka-chunk onto that bit to my right.
Hopefully not with us in the middle.
Hopefully not with us in the middle. But also this type of terrain, you saw how difficult this was to get to.
Yeah.
So if there is something hiding here in the middle of the desert, this is the perfect place. And how many people come here?
Not many. No.
I've been here 3 times, 4 times, and I've never seen anyone. I've never seen evidence of anyone being here. And usually hunters leave their mark. There are shotgun cases on the floor, discarded bottles, discarded wrappers. I don't think anyone's been here for years. And something has come in afterwards. Basically, the owls will take the soft, fleshy parts, and any big bones like that they won't eat, but the small bones they regurgitate in owl pellets.
Oh yeah.
Just like compressed fur and small bones, and they sort of sick them up basically, and you can find them on the ground. But somewhere down here, there is definitely evidence of a bigger animal that lives.
So how did you start doing bushcraft?
How did I start? It's one of those things that I've always done ever since I was a kid. You know, I was like, we'd go on family holidays, other kids would be playing football on the beach, I'd have my head in a rock pool, looking at stuff, you know, looking at nature. I've always had this complete curiosity about it. And so when I went to university, I studied biology. Then I did another degree and I studied ecology and conservation, because what I wanted to do was work in the environment, work in nature. And that's what I did for years and years. I was a wildlife biologist, working with rare species, with rare habitats, places like this, trying to protect places like this from being destroyed, trying to protect the animals who live here from disappearing. But I realized that this was only a small part of the story, that what I was doing is preventing bad things happening. The real way of solving it is to stop them happening in the first place, is stop reacting to stuff and start preventing it, stop happening. Education. And if you can combine education with the inherent knowledge of the First Nations peoples, the Aborigines, Native Americans, the Bushmen, people who live in the jungles of Southeast Asia and the Amazon, who have this amazing connection to Earth and understand it, if you can combine environmental education with that sort of viewpoint, you can begin to really turn children on to the concept of why this is important.
So you've heard of beatboxing before?
I have. I love beatboxing.
This is how I brought beatboxing to a grade 4 instrument. Okay.
There are many moments in the silence of the desert when you feel like you're the only person in the world, very small and fragile and completely defenseless against the elements. Neil kept stressing the importance of regaining the knowledge of our ancestors, of native humans who lived in harmony with nature. We've veered off from our roots, moved away from our instincts, domesticated by society. We've been given this unique opportunity to connect with our primitive instincts. On this journey, learning how to use natural resources by weaving grass to make up rope, baskets, or even shelter.
When you're lighting a fire, key thing to remember is you don't want too much. So what we'd need ideally is a little dip and a bare area like this over here to light the fire on, not to light it next to something like that. Yeah. First things, it's a little bit windy. We'll put some rocks around just as a little deflector. You know, we've chosen this place because it's really safe, completely devoid of all vegetation. So we just stick some rocks around there. This is the Swedish fire steel. It's one of the best ways of lighting fire. It's getting a little bit dark now, so we've lost the sun, we can't use solar. But this is a guaranteed way we can make fire.
Well, bones, 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 bones. Serum Creek can't hear 'em groan. Nothing but a
fire, one very important resource when sleeping in the desert. Partly because of the fact that the 45 degrees we were experiencing during the daytime have dropped drastically to 6 or 7 degrees at night.
Ooh, oh, you never laughed or had the fun of a dancing skeleton.
The desert, which seems barren in the scorching heat of the day, is teeming with life at night.
Well, there's a big old dirty coal train cruising on down the hill. No one's driving, the cargo is ready to spill.
We've been driving up the Rambler, this dry riverbed, for about an hour now, and in the last 10-15 minutes the car started to make some unusual noises. I don't know if this is going to be a problem, but we have to be aware that if this breaks down, what stuff have we got and what stuff might we need from here, from the environment. And from talking this morning, the most single important thing that we need is water. And at the moment, we've only got about 2 litres of water per person per day, and that's not enough.
How many do we need a day?
I would say in this heat in July in the desert, between 8 and 10 litres of water per day, just to do the things that we're going to be doing. And the thing in the desert is you don't sweat. If you take your sunglasses and breathe on them, you can't get any moisture on the lens because the air just sucks it straight up.
Oh,
yeah. That's crazy.
It just takes it straight. Now if you did this in another place, that would go complete, you could rub your finger across there. So we're losing water like mad, but we don't know. We've got to find some. The easiest way to find some is to climb a mountain, like this mountain. We'll stand on top of that and we scan. We look around. If we find a bright patch of green, the brightest patch of green, that's where we may find water. We need to find a break of slope where the slope is coming down like that gently, and then suddenly you get like a waterfall effect. At the base of that break of slope is often where you find water. And if you can combine that with the bend in a river, on the bend in a river, on the inside of the bend is often where water is just holed up. So we're looking for green, we're looking for a bend in the river, and we're looking for the break in the slope. So we'll climb this mountain now, and then we're going to come down and see if we can find something. Grab hold of the grass as you're coming up. It makes a really strong handhold. We've had a look around, and definitely over there is the place to aim for. No doubt about it. There's some very intense spots of green, much greener than anything else in the landscape.
Yeah.
Further over, there's a little line of caña.
Is that cacti over there?
That's chumbero, as they call it here, or prickly pears. Can't get water from that. It's a bit of a myth, but we can cook the leaves. But now, our priority is water. This is what we've got to get as much of as quickly as possible. And down there we've got the green, down there we've got a breaking slope, and down there we've got what is obviously an old waterfall. That's got to be the place we try first. Then we can go and have a look at the caña if we can't find it. And in English this is called glasswort or salicornia. And actually they serve this in really expensive restaurants. They steam it lightly with fish, and it's one of the few plants you can get out here at this time of the year that actually tastes vaguely good, but it's salty. So as we were saying earlier, water is our priority. So even though this has got some nutrients in it, it's got some carbohydrates in it, the salt content is sufficiently high that the benefits are outweighed of eating it by the dehydration it's going to cause. But you can certainly try a little bit of it just to see what it's like. If we can find some water, then you can eat this as much as you want. But if we can't find water, then I really wouldn't recommend eating this at all.
It's actually quite nice.
That's really good.
You like that? Yeah?
Doesn't taste very planty.
It'd be good with fish, yeah.
Yeah. Desert gourmet. So look, there's still signs of water, even though the riverbed was dry. You can see from this cliff that water is always coming down here. But I'm pretty certain if we do find water, it's going to be salty, because this is just pure salt. And these plants that are growing here, you normally find these on the beach, so this could be a bit of a problem. But the best place to find water is at the break of slope between this and this. So if we go over here, we might actually find some running water. Tiny little pool of water here.
Oh wow.
Cool. And look, even though we're in the middle of July in the desert, and there's been heat warnings out, and it's been one of the driest winters for 15 years, there's still water flowing here. But I reckon, Liana, you try that, that's going to be as salty as the sea.
Tastes slightly damp, but yeah, very salty.
Really salty. But there's a really simple way we can get water, and that's using a clear plastic bag. Something that can be folded up. A plant like this oleander bush here, it's got lots and lots of fresh green foliage. It's telling us there's lots of water underground, and all we do is we slip the bag over the green foliage. The moisture that's going to come off these leaves is going to start condensing on this plastic bag, and eventually will run down here. So what we need to do is just to create a little reservoir. As you can see, perfectly clear, crystal clear water. Absolutely fantastic.
Very strange.
Let me try and push it.
Like it's not even nothing. Nothing.
You got a rope?
To tow it? No.
No jumpers?
Paracord.
Yeah, that'll put it to the test.
I don't have jump leads either, no. We'll have to go and get some leads.
Maybe one has some back there.
Huh?
I don't want to die here. Don't let me die here alone.
I think we should go find shade.
What time is it?
It's 11 o'clock and we're already 40 degrees.
40 degrees.
It doesn't seem like the sun's gonna chill out any time now. I don't know how long they're gonna be.
Okay.
I think when Neil showed us the water earlier, there was a little cave. We should go and check that out.
It'll be way better than the car. This car is useless.
Yeah, it's starting to heat up now. It's just stupid, man.
Let's go.
I'm not even gonna lock it. We're gonna die here. Heat and the sun are the biggest killers when stuck out in the desert. Heat stroke and dehydration can set in quite quickly and can be lethal. So hiding in the shade and consuming over 8 litres of water a day are essential.
It's just a waste beneath my fingers. It's just a taste, but how it lingers. I'm falling in slow. I'm falling in though. Well, I'll be damned. I'll stop a river when just a hand can cause a shiver. I'm falling in slow. I'm falling in though. Well, honey, I'm a fool for love, but this taste.
It actually happened. It really broke down. It's, I don't know why, but the battery just drained itself. And what's interesting now is this car is just useless. It's just a piece of metal in the desert, getting hotter and hotter and hotter. There's no aircon, there's nothing we can do, the sun's too high to cast any shade. It just becomes a real problem for us, other than one thing. If it does break down like this, what we're going to do is we're going to stay with it. We're not going to run off into the desert looking for help. We're going to stay here. Planes can see this car an awful lot easier than they can see us walking around. What we'll need to do is go and find somewhere to get some shade. Because at the moment, this is just a piece of rubbish. We need to get some pinthers, start the engine, then we'll be okay again. Until that time,
we got the pinthers, man.
We got them.
We got them.
We got them. Look at this.
We were fast.
We were so fast. We were so fast.
Yeah.
This is bushcraft style
Yeah,
mechanics.
Yeah. That's the reality behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So we were planning to do a bloody shot in the middle of the desert, and the car braked out. That actually it braked out. Well, we don't know if it's actually
Gonna
It hasn't started yet. It hasn't started yet. So this may really be a piece of junk in the desert.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully no.
Okay, we're gonna try.
Okay.
Let's try.
I'm a bit apprehensive about this.
Let me in the rain. The sky will take my pain for a while. And soak me through my shirt. And soak me through the dirt. Till the sun shines down. Each fallen drop will take a thought and dry this heat to drown beneath. Each wetted hair will shed despair, and this muddy earth will bring my rebirth.
Relaxation this week, connecting with nature, has made it all evident.
Let me in the rain. The sky will take my pain for a while. And soak me through my shirt. Yeah, soak me to the dirt. Till the sun shines down.
As the sun sets over the desert, Simon and Lucia play us one last song. I stood there, taking in the scenery. This moment brought tears to my eyes.
And so do I. Well, he'll share his purse and lift our curse. Well, these seeds are sown, I'll let them grow.
I've fallen in love with my life, with the people that I'm sharing it with. Simon, my angel. Louis, my brother.
Well, let me in the rain.
Alastair, the curl to my lips when I smile.
For a while. And soak me through my shirt. And soak me to the dirt. Till the sun shines down. Each falling drop will take a thought and dry this heat.
Come and meet us again next week, when we harness the power of the wind to travel to Africa and take a plunge into the sea.
We'll shed despair, and this mighty earth will bring my rebirth. Let me in the rain. The sky will take my pain for a while. And soak me through my shirt. You soak me to the dirt. Till the sun shines down.